Twitter storm time. Since Cenk is out of town and away from the studio, I will be the one answering some of the questions that you tweeted to me. And Jenny has the list of the questions now, so let's get started.
All right, first one's from Nothing. Do you get sick of all the comments that objectify and sexualize you when you're co-hosting, or do you just brush it off?
At this point, I pretty much just brush it off. There was definitely a point earlier when I would get frustrated with the comments because I felt like it belittled any of the intellectual contributions I had. And so I didn't like that, and I still don't really like that. But then I realized people are just trying to compliment me. I don't like being objectified, but it's just the nature of the beast. I can't sit around getting upset at everything. So yes, I just brush it off and I move on, and I just try to do my job to the best of my ability.
Rusty Colbert wants to know how you relax after a stressful day at work.
My favorite thing to do after a stressful day at work is to take a bubble bath while I listen to really relaxing music. Like, I love bubble baths. I would take one every single night if I could, but sometimes you're just too lazy to draw a bath and all that other stuff. But yeah, I love doing that. I really love going on long runs now. I used to hate running when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I love to do it. And then another thing that I do to relax is yoga. Or sometimes just hanging out with a friend and drinking some wine. Those are the things that really help me cool off.
Next one's from Your Rainbow. Isn't it a distraction to blame Obama, since the problem is in the Pentagon? No matter who's in charge, the war machine will move forward.
So I think that Yorimbo makes a really good point there. I mean, in terms of foreign policy and international relations, a lot of it gets driven by the military-industrial complex. And again, if you really delve into the nitty-gritty, it's all about the money. It's the issue that we talk about on the show over and over again. If you want a true democratic process, you have to get the money out of politics. So I think blaming everything on Obama is one thing, but you're not really pointing fingers to the nature of the beast. I think it's the nature of the beast that you have to focus on, because I think Obama is a symptom of a system that's really broken right now.
Next one's from El Beso. If CSUN offered you a permanent position, would you take it?
At this point in my life, no, I would not take I'm thinking he's saying a permanent full-time position. I would say no, just because it's not what I want to focus on right now. I love teaching one journalism class. It's already a lot of work to do that and also do the Young Turks and The Point and my vlog. And then I'm also supposed to be working on a book, which has been a very slow and grueling process. So there's just too much going on. I wouldn't do it now. But I think later on in my career, when I'm considered too old to be on camera, yeah, definitely I'd consider that.
Tyler Valentine wants to know, what were your political views always the same, or did they change over time?
My political views definitely changed over time. When I was in high school, I was way more conservative, believe it or not. So, and it's funny because as you grow older, you're supposed to become more conservative, but I've become more and more progressive in my views. So just to give you a quick rundown of social issues, I was against gay marriage. I thought that allowing gays to get married would normalize unnatural behavior, and then people would think that it's okay to be gay. And of course, that's a dumb position to have because people don't decide to be gay. It's something that they're born with. So of course, as I got older, I became more educated on that issue. Another issue was abortion. I thought that abortion was wrong, and obviously I've changed my views on that. And then finally, there was one other social issue that prostitution. When I first started working for TYT, I was against legalizing prostitution. But again, that's another issue that you do some research into, and you open yourself up to different perspectives, and you realize, hey, if you legalize prostitution, then you can regulate it. It creates a safer environment for people who want to participate in the sex industry. And if you make it illegal, it doesn't mean that people are going to stop doing it. They're going to continue doing it because there's an appetite for sex and people want to make money off of it. So it is what it is.
Stuart A., if you could visit any place in the world, where would it be? Hashtag saludos de Venezuela.
I think that's probably the most difficult question that I received for this Twitter storm, because I want to be a world traveler. I want to go to so many different countries. Next year, I want to take a really big trip. I'm giving myself a year to save and kind of do a big, traveling, adventurous thing, and I'm considering either Japan or Spain, and I know they're two very different countries, but I've already been to Europe, so I'm thinking, oh, maybe Japan is where I should go, or even Thailand. I don't know. There are so many places I want to go, so it's hard for me to pinpoint, but I'm leaning towards Spain or Japan for the moment being.
You should take a cruise. Cruises will take you to multiple destinations
I
in
know,
one trip.
but I feel like when you're on a cruise, you have like a certain timetable, and I don't like that. I kind of want to go and wander around. I love wandering around. I never make plans when I travel somewhere. So I know some people like to plan to a T, but I like to just go walk around.
That's awesome. Just get lost in a place.
Yeah.
Next one is from Scottish Matters. At a fantasy dinner table, you can invite 3 people. Current or historical, who would you invite?
So this is another really difficult question to answer because there are so many fascinating people out there that you'd want to discuss. But I'd want a little bit of drama. So first of all, a total wild card would be Kate Winslet because she's my favorite actress. I admire her so much, and I would love to sit down and have a conversation with her. Okay, so that's the wild card. The 2 others would be George Bush and Obama, and I would sit them down and I would ask them how they differ when it comes to foreign policy, and then they're going to realize that they don't differ at all, and then I'm going to feel good about myself. And I would also really like to talk to George H.W. Bush, because if theoretically, or let's say in a perfect scenario, these politicians are honest with me, I would love to hear his honest opinion about some of the things his son has done, right? So I would try. I know it would be difficult to achieve that, but I would try. I would try to see what his thoughts are on some of the things that his son did when he was in office.
Next one's from Maria. What was the wildest dare you've ever been given?
The wildest dare was given to me by myself, and it was recent, and I just had to make really big changes in my personal life because I wasn't happy. And it's always scary to do something that's different and be taken out of your comfort zone, but I think that the best thing that you can do is always figure out what makes you uncomfortable and then go ahead and just do it. Because a lot of times that's when you live a more enriched life. You expose yourself to different perspectives and different experiences. As human beings, we want to be as comfortable as possible. That's human nature. And when you do that, you live a really, really boring life. So I'm going to go ahead and say that.
Next one's from True Politics. Would you rather be a righteous dictator or an awful democratically elected leader?
I would rather be neither one of those. I don't know, those both sound really, really terrible. But I guess I'm going to go with, what was it? The second option?
The awful democratically elected leader.
So I'm guessing he's referring to Obama. I guess I would rather be Obama instead of, like, I don't know, Bashar al-Assad or something. So,
last one's from Richard Burns. Why do you perpetuate the stereotype natural is good long after Cara Santa Maria pointed out how inaccurate it is?
Okay, this is my favorite question. And so he's referring to genetically modified foods and a very brief debate that Cara and I had on election night. We never actually sat down and had a decent debate, so it's difficult to hash it out. So the reason why I push the stereotype that natural is good is because, yes, genetically modified organisms can be used for good, especially when it comes to climate change. You want to genetically modify crops so they can withstand some of the temperature changes that we're experiencing right now. So I don't want to belittle that. That's important. But at the same time, when you think about it, we're genetically modifying certain crops so they can withstand very, very, very powerful pesticides. So when I make the argument that natural is good, I'm just saying that I would rather eat an apple that hasn't been sprayed with pesticides than eat an apple that has been, okay? That's why I say natural is good. And also, I mean, when you look into a company like Monsanto and you look at all of the shady things that have happened with their genetically modified crops and their genetically modified food, I mean, you really question what their intentions are, and you question the real safety of the food that we're eating. And the debate that we had to do with a proposition that was proposed here in California. And it would just simply label genetically modified food. It wouldn't ban it, it would just label it, so if you choose not to eat it, you don't have to eat it. I was in favor of that proposition because I like to be informed about what I eat. I'm not really sure why Cara was against that. Like I said, we didn't get an opportunity to really hash it out. But I am happy that I got to give a more detailed answer to the audience now.
Well, that's it for Twitter Store.
All right, guys, thank you. Jake will be
Bye.
back next week, and he will answer your questions. But in the meantime, I hope you do enjoy some of the answers I gave you. Have a good one.